Hello, and welcome. In today's video, we'll walk you through the process of creating a sales quote in XERO and then converting it into a sales invoice once your customer accepts the quote. This is a great way to streamline your sales process and make invoicing easier. Let's dive in. Start by heading to the blue ribbon at the top of your XERO dashboard. Click on Business and then select Quotes from the drop-down. On the Quotes page, click on the New Quote button in the top right corner. In the New Quote screen, select the customer for whom you're creating the quote. If the customer isn't listed yet, you can quickly add their details by clicking on Add New Customer. Now, enter the details of the quote. Choose the date of the quote. For quote reference, XERO will automatically generate a reference number, or you can create a custom one if needed. Let's say that the customer is requesting a quote for 10 medium-size black shirt. We will add the items and the description is automatically generated as this is selected from the inventory listing. You can choose to either select from your inventory or manually enter descriptions and amounts. For each item or service, enter the quantity and price. If needed, you can apply a discount or make adjustments to the tax rate. You can also add a message to the customer, providing more context about the quote. Once you've added all the necessary details, you can either click Save to keep the quote as a draft or send the quote to your customer right away. Just select Send to send it directly from XERO, or choose Download PDF if you prefer to manually send it. Once your customer accepts the quote and you're ready to move forward with the sale, you can easily convert the quote into an invoice. Head back to the Quotes page under Business and find the quote you created. Once the customer has accepted the quote, open the approved quote and mark the quote as accepted at the top of the page. When completed, you'll have the option to click on the Create Invoice button. You'll have the option to mark it as invoiced. XERO will automatically convert all the details from the quote, such as items, quantities, and prices, into a new sales invoice. Now that the quote has been converted, the details will appear on the new invoice page. You can review the invoice, add in the due date, and make any last-minute changes if necessary. For example, you can add or remove items, adjust the quantities, or apply a payment if the customer has already paid part of the invoice. You can add your payment terms or include any notes in the message section for the customer. Once everything looks good, click Save to save the invoice as a draft, or Approve to finalize it and mark it as ready for payment. To send the invoice to your customer, simply click the Approve and Email button, and XERO will email the invoice directly to the customer. You can also download it as a PDF to manually send it if preferred. Now that your sales quote has been converted into an invoice, you can manage both in XERO. On the Quotes page, you'll see the status of each quote, whether it's draft, approved, sent or converted to an invoice. On the Invoices page, you can track the status of your invoice, such as whether it's awaiting payment, partially paid, or paid. This gives you a full view of your sales process, from quoting to invoicing and payment tracking. And that's it. You've now learned how to create a sales quote in XERO and easily convert it into a sales invoice once your customer is ready to proceed.